Hey everybody, welcome back to my second attempt at growing broccoli. The first time around didn't go so great. I don't know if you guys saw some of the pictures that I took of that, but I think I had a little bit of a mold issue in my soil because when I went into the soil box today to make some more trays, there was some mold in there, so I had to clean it all out, clean, disinfectant. So today we're going to be using some coco coir. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with coco coir or what it is, but it's a coconut just ground up in it, and it looks, you know, like some really good soil. So I know a lot of other growers, and I'm throwing myself into the category of growers because you got to claim what you want to be, right? So I know a lot of the other growers will use this medium as well. So I'm going to give this a shot with this next set of broccoli. And we'll see where we go with that. So obviously these trays I've already prepped them with coco coir, and it's wetted down. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 20 grams of this broccoli seed that I got from Johnny's, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do one tray because I only poured out, or only divvied out 20 grams of seed for one tray. So it's 20 grams per tray. So I'm going to do one of these, and this is my first time using one of these little shakers. So thanks to Lisa for sacrificing your dill weed shaker for this. So we'll go ahead and I'm just going to try and be as even as I possibly can with this, having never used this thing before. So I can see that, yeah, I can be pretty aggressive with it, and the seed's not going to go all over the place. So that's good. Probably could have used a different setting. And then if you noticed maybe in the pictures that I sent of the broccoli the last time, I had really spotty germination on top of that. So not sure exactly what the cause is of that. But you know what? Part of this whole thing is just going to be trial and error. So I'm not attaching any kind of success or failure to, you know, my first couple of grows. It's just follow along, make the mistakes that I'm going to make, and see where we get from there. So I'm going to try this other one here and see what we get. Hey, there we go. A lot more. And these trays that I'm using are from the Bootstrap Farmer. They're 10-20 trays, so 10 inches by 20 inches, so 200 square inches of growing capacity or surface. And yeah, now I'm just really going to town now. But I'm really happy with the way that the wheatgrass is turning out. I know that from what I've read and what I've heard, you know, wheatgrass first thing in the morning on an empty stomach is really good for you. It's got a lot of nutrition. And the other thing about this broccoli sprouts, or broccoli, shoots like these, microgreens, is something like 40 times more the nutrients than if you were to eat a full-grown, broccoli, and so that's a lot better and less time consuming, I guess you could say, doing it this way. So I'll leave the last few in there because I'm going to pop that off and put some more in there. So I don't want to make them all spill out, but you can see it's kind of a nice even distribution. So I kind of like that. So thanks again, Elisa, for that. So next I'm going to go ahead and get some water, and I'm just going to spray it pretty good. Get my notes out of the way here. And what's going to happen here is this water right here is going to last it through germination. And I don't believe we do blackout on these things. We just, day 4 is blackout. So this needs to last, this water needs to last through the germination process and blackout. So I think that's going to be by day 6. So, of course I'll check it again after day 4 when we move it from out of the germination into the blackout. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to put a tray on top, and I'm going to add a weight, but I'll add a weight after I put this one on top. So And this is just going to go right in this spot right here. I might have to move it because I think the lights are going to come out 7. We don't want light yet. We're not introducing it to light until, what is that, day 6. So day 6. So I'm going to go ahead and do this next tray, and then I'll show you what it looks like to put the weight on. Okay, so I'm back after seating 2 10 by 20 trays, and you can see that I've stacked them. I've got one of these blank trays, no holes, on each of those, on top of those, just to... and then when I put this brick on there, this brick is gonna put down some pressure on it and just really cause the seeds to you know, build their root structure underneath, and also fight to come up through the artificial soil that, you know, because normally these would be planted into soil and they would turn into regular sized plants. But so this is what that does. This is a I think it's about 15 pounds of weight on there, and it just is enough to push everything down. Of course, the top one will push down onto the bottom one, and what that's going to do is that's going to again just really encourage these seeds to spring up and do their God-given design thing to do, which is to sprout up, get green, and provide food for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw this on a tray or a rack that I just made available, and then I'm going to come back in a few days and let's see here. Day 1 is sowing. I'm going to move it to blackout, and we'll go through that the next time we get to that part. But really, it's just going to stay like that for 4 days. So if you're ever thinking about growing microgreens, you know, follow along and see how I do first of all, and to see how actually easy it is. Now, we're not selling to any stores or restaurants, you know, yet, or neighbors or anything like that. But you know, it's just the learning process right now, figuring out how to do it, what I'm going to do wrong, and how much hands-off it really is. From everybody that I've been following, it is kind of a hands-off thing. So it's a set it and forget it. So we know what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you kind of what I got going on here. So I've got the rack, and I think you guys have seen that. But kind of the coolest thing about these lights here, these are Casa, well, these are Barina lights. But what I've got them hooked up into, and I don't know that you can really see except for down in there, that box right there, that's a wireless device by Casa, K-A-S-A. And what that allows me to do is control when the lights go on and off, you know, by each level and everything. So right now I've got 2 settings on there. So I have, this is, you know, rack 1, calling this main grow room, and then I've got, you know, rack 1, shelf 1, and then, you know, 2, 3, and then so on, all you know, all the way up there. So I've got the lights programmed for shelf 2 and shelf 3, and they go on at 7 o'clock local time, and they'll run for 16 hours, and they'll shut off at 11 a.m. And, you know, Arizona, unlike Idaho or other places that I've lived or we've lived, they have maybe California is this way too. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. But you can't have, you know, heavy appliances running between 4 and 7. I don't think those lights are, you know, that's much of a concern. But maybe as we get more and more going, I just want to get used to running those lights off peak hours, so we're not introducing any additional cost that's going to be as a result of trying to grow our own food. So, you know, the other thing guys too is we got this kit right here a long time ago, and it's got these little, you can't really see because it's getting humid in there, but there's these little, you can see maybe, there's these little pods in there. And I don't really know how many there are. I didn't count them exactly, but we've got this kit, and I've got it on some heat because I'm just trying some new things, just trying to see what's going to work, what's not going to work, and then, you know, go from there. But this I have growing in there, so it's all going to be lettuce, and then here's some kale and butternut butter crunch, butterhead butter crunch lettuce, and I got my plant day, so my seeding day 12/6, and then magenta pelleted, coastal star pelleted. Those were recommended from our friend in Irvine of RAQIA Farms, Eric that runs that, and we got our boxes. I'll probably go show them to you too also. And then romaine lettuce, and then just some, I think that's called Lacinta kale. So we're going to see how that goes. Earlier I had done water tests to see kind of how our water is and what kind of additives I need to do, but really the big thing right here is going to be our it's the hardness of the water. And I did it, this is before Berkey and this is after Berkey, so it made no difference there. The only thing it did is it dropped the pH by 1 point, but I really do want to have the pH of the water between like 5.5 and like 6. So when I was working on that cannabis farm out in Washington, I learned a little bit about, you know, pH and the treatment of the water and all that. So that's kind of cool to know that stuff too. But I got my table out here where I'll go ahead and do the soil. So I've got my cocoa coir in there. I've got a little bit of cocoa coir in there. Got my RAQIA greens, and then of course my HP bioforagicide soil. So that's what I was mixing for that. Got a little bit of mold situation on it. So this is my this is what's called a socks box, and I can't see real good, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off real quick. But these are socks. They call them socks, but they're fabric, and there are holes burned into them. And we got this from Eric Cutter over at RAQIA Farms. So for those of my friends that are in California and are looking for doing something like this and say, oh, I don't have the space to do it, this is why he developed this. You know, they're just on these Burrow brand, you know, sawhorses or whatever, and he's got these the tray, and then you've got these 3-foot long tubes that they burn in these holes, and this soil mixture is something that he's come up with that does real well in there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just seeing how consistently I can keep the soil at 60 degrees, because it does get cold here in Phoenix. I didn't know if you guys were aware, but it gets a little chilly around here. So this is kind of our backyard. That's fake grass. I'm not putting any water or any money into that. But so this is, yeah, 2 3-foot socks boxes. So there's 15 plantable spots in each of them, so 30. So that kale that went on inside kale and the lettuce, the starters, I'm going to do starters in there. I'm going to do a couple things. One, I'm going to try and grow to full harvest inside and see what that does. And then I'm going to take some more of those things. I'm going to direct plant them into here, transplant them into here, and see how well they do. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of what I'm doing. I do my work all day long, and then I come out here or take breaks and kind of get out here and do this. That's kind of it for now, but I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the new broccoli grow, and I will be harvesting that wheatgrass tomorrow. So I'm gonna harvest it, so I'll video that. I'm gonna get it set up to juice, because that's the main purpose of the wheatgrass, is you juice that stuff or throw it into your smoothies. And if I have enough, which I don't think I'm gonna have enough, but if I have enough, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into ice cubes and show you how we can use ice cubes to preserve it and make it last longer. So all right, you guys take care. I love you all, miss you all. Talk to you soon.